one direction, but did a complete 180 and was heading the exact same the exact same speed at the opposite. But when it grew, that's when I felt like it had a presence beyond, like, I don't know, like I felt like seen.
And it's not the first time I've seen, not really it, but after I had that experience, it didn't stop.
Yeah, mine, that was the one. But I have been continuing to look at the sky since. I've seen things, but they were always explicable after that. That one.
It would always. I don't know if I can call it or them. I don't know because it would show up in different manifestations. Sometimes it would show up as
That other
a
thing that's next to it is wild. I'm sorry. That's that dark thing. I don't understand
kind
that
of.
part of it. The
I
cloud
I
thing.
I feel like it's some kind of because whenever it was on towards the other side of the ship, it was behind it, and it made it look bluzzy. It made it look
Right.
very
Blurry
like
clouds.
yeah, blurry fuzz. Like it was almost like it was meant to distort your view.
And there may be a function to something that we don't understand that may or may not be of or not of this earth. I don't know. I do.
To a girl.
I can't
talked to
deny
a
your
girl.
experience because I've seen some shit. But go ahead. You talked to someone.
When I was with my mom recently, I talked to a woman who had an experience with an actual gray, and I had asked her, like, did it just show up? Did it just, and she said, yeah, it just manifested in the room. The room started to vibrate, and I asked her, like, what do you mean by vibrate? She said, it almost like, it felt like the room, like the entire atmosphere around me was shaking, but at extremely fast pace to the point where you couldn't even tell that it was vibrating in. And then she was gone. She was gone from the room, and she was completely just not really in space, but more of in a world where she was among stars. And she was talking to this gray, and the gray was warning her that the technology that we are using is not good. The path we are going down is not okay. And I kind of asked her, like, how long did you talk to this thing? And she was like, time wasn't relevant. Time was not relevant. I kind of asked her, well, could you maybe give me an estimate though? Like, you can, time was not relevant maybe for you and it, but you could give an estimate in your personal time, you witnessing it. And she said, probably about 25 to 30 seconds in our time. But in the actual time when we returned, it was as if I never left.
So that I've heard that type of phenomenon in a lot of those similar experiences that people have described.
The blurry thing where it meant to distort, that thing, I heard it before when the thing in New Vegas where it crash landed in their backyard.
He showed because he took that.
They're talking about like a police call comes in and it's a kid. And he's freaking out and he's saying it's no joke. There's some weird shit in our backyard. Come on over. Cops come in.
Oh, the Vegas one.
And they make the remark where it says like I couldn't see it. It's like blurred out. It's distorted.
Interesting. Did you see
Like
his photo? He put it in media. It's pretty interesting, compelling.
it's like
Never seen anything like that in the sky.
No,
It is
can't
wild.
figure that one out.
Nope.
I've been looking at it for a while now.
Yeah, do you see? Because, like, if it had been where you had just gotten it on the other side of that railing, it would have been much, yeah, enhance it a bit.
That's almost
the thing-
impossible to do.
And you know what I realized seeing it? I realized the process of actually, like, because you know how people complain, like, why don't you get a good picture of it? Because
Honestly,
there's a
that's as quick as you could have done, and I mean, dude, most people don't even like. For me, I didn't even think to look
no,
at my
no, it
camera.
wasn't quick. No, it wasn't quick. It wasn't just it came around and then it disappeared. No, it was in
talking
the
about-
sky from the time I saw it as a star to the point where it looked like that. It was a good 15 to 18 minutes. It was in the sky. It did not like just
Well,
go.
but you took a picture. A lot of
Yeah,
people
but
are so enraptured in looking at things that they can't even like think to like click.
yeah, that's the thing. There's an entire process to it. It's not really just let me get my camera.
Yeah, 2009,
But-
I didn't have the time. So
It's like you spot it, you're like, I'm not sure if it's a thing. Let me check my mental processes and see if I can recognize it to anything else. And it just didn't, and then finally it clicked, I need to get a picture while it was still in the sky. Oh, another thing. While it was in the sky, there was an airplane going behind it, and you could see its indicators. I'm like, Mom, that's a plane. That's
yeah,
a plane.
because
I
you
don't know
could
what the
see the
fuck that
click,
is.
you could see the lights. But the picture that you've shown, that whole shape of it, it looks kind of like a
So there's no airplane in this photo at all?
no.
No, the angle that I took at it, it will not be able to show the plane. The plane was more lowered, and it was far, far away. I don't even know if you could see it if I even took the picture.
It's like it's the opposite of a black hole.
It was what I could describe it as a mini galaxy. I would describe like
So maybe
has
you're
that-
seeing
plane
the
down here.
binary star system.
Or is this like the horizon down here?
He's on
What's
a
up? No,
ship.
no, it was 8 p.m. No, it was 8 p.m. Like there was no light to be seen. Like it was pitch black. The only thing you could see was the guiding stars in the sky. Like we couldn't because of the light pollution of the ship. You'd think when you're on a cruise like that, you would see the Milky Way, the whole thing. But because of the ship, you'll have
No,
that
they
major
have
light
to
pollution.
turn off all the lights. The only way my husband could see the stars like on a really great thing is when they kind of went dark. And that was not even supposed to be a thing that happened, but they got to experience it a couple times. It's illegal to go dark for too long because then you're not spottable by something that may be coming up on you.
I tried to
I
get as
just
much
wish you.
information.
The only thing I wish you had done is just like put the camera over the rail, but I understand that's the like fear of losing your camera to the water, so there's no reason to do that.
Yeah, well. The other thing I'm kicking myself too is like I could have gotten a video. I could have taken out my
True.
phone, pressed record, and just followed it. But no,
But
I was too
you
much
did
in fucking
something.
shock and awe, and
You
just
did
like, oh my
more.
god.
Than a lot of people would have, and that's interesting. I'm just.
And oh yeah, it's
What if it's a
decent-
binary star system? Because if you saw it as a star at first, maybe the angle changed, and it's a binary star system in our galaxy that just seemed to
didn't-
be brighter today, or that day.
And I tried to see if I could like maybe see if I could see it again. Like every night, I would go out and try and see it. Or something. I would walk around the ship, like I would just be very vigilant. I never saw anything like it ever again.
What is that dark satellite thing? Because that's what I kind of like got the image of looking at that thing to the left.
Dark satellite? You mean the kind of like the bluzzy? Here, let me go and pull it up. The bluzziness to the left of it.
Yep. That thing,
That-
it just reminds me of that for some reason. Sorry.
I feel like it's that kind of screen bluzziness I saw before it actually came around and I could actually see it like that.
It's got like a sword shape. And there was some kind of like story about something like that that had a sword shape in the sky. That wasn't quite. Yeah, do the negative brighter. or whatever. Oh,
Yeah,
that
like
is
social.
wild.
But you put so you reverse the coloring?
Not
No,
really.
just in Lightroom.
He really enhanced it. He's taking the dark
Because I actually haven't been
noise
able
out.
to send it to anyone to like actually verify it. It's just been on my phone.
He's just trying to see what the shape is without having to deal with. Because even somebody that's trying to verify it will be doing this type of thing to see the difference, I guess, in like blurriness where it is to see like the shape it really was, I guess, or to see if it's genuine.
I don't know if there's any other pictures of it online. I don't know.
That would be interesting to look at, kind of figure out what day you took it, because that's probably stored on the phone, on the device that you took it
It
with.
it was the day before we arrived at the Grand
It was
Cave.
February 22nd, 2023.
Oh, you're able to see the date? Awesome.
So
Yeah.
the 22nd. That would be right the day after
Metadata,
the end
baby.
of the.
Thank God, because I wouldn't have fucking remember. My memory's so bad.
Interesting. There's a registry that you can look at, and I'm trying to remember who was telling me and helping me with it. And I had a similar experience. Boonacre, maybe. He was in here yesterday. I'll ask him, because if he remembers, I know he's been around since I had that conversation, so. And I think he was there for one of them at least, if he wasn't the person instigating it. And there is a way to look up the area you were in the day and see if anybody else has put in a sighting there, and then you can also put your sighting in there. So
Well, that's the thing. We weren't the only ones that saw it. There were others. So we were on the smoke deck, and there were other. Now the cruise ship we were on, there was a bunch of old people. Like I was pretty much the only teenager on the ship.
how old are you?
I'm 20.
Okay. Sorry.
You're fine.
Yeah, I'll have to find out who it was that told me the site that they ended up helping me. Ah, maybe it was MTM.
Anything that'll help, because I've never been able to find anybody that's kind of like verified anything about it. It's just kind of just been on my phone. It's just like, hey, yeah, I saw a UFO. I even got a photo of it. It's just like.
Well, I know somebody here
been
that
there.
can find out if anybody else reported the sighting. They won't know. You know, we can't find out if nobody reported it, but it may have been reported by somebody else and they remembered the date. Because I found out that mine, I just remembered it was sometime in November because that was the only month that I was in this specific place. And he found out it was close to November 11th, and all I knew was it was before Thanksgiving.
No,
So
maybe somebody. Actually, no. Now that I think about it, somebody else did get a picture of it, and it was much better than mine, if I remember correctly.
maybe it's out there.
I just don't know if they
Sky
actually posted it
anomaly.
online.
This all I'm saying is if you like Google sky anomaly February 22nd, 2023. You may find out more. people actually saw it, and you may see the other photo. You never know.
The only other time
Compelling
that I've ever
photo.
seen. Go ahead.
I'm just saying it's a compelling photo. Very interesting to look
I like these. I like listening to these talks, man. I'm gonna grab some coffee. Go ahead, sir.
The other thing after that sighting, it never ever showed up where I couldn't reach my phone. Well, it showed up always when I couldn't reach my phone. Whenever I'm driving, actually no, it was only whenever we were driving. Well, I can say we now because me and my mom have seen it. Not it, but we actually saw a disc.
A disc? Interesting.
It would never, it never just like, and it was multiple times. It wasn't just like, oh, we just saw it, you know, zoom past. It was always in the distance, and we would see something blink, and it would zoom, and both me and my mom saw it. I saw it like the first 2 times, and my mom saw it the 3rd time. She was like, okay, I know what you're seeing. What the fuck was that? And after that, it just never showed itself again. Like, ever since that first sighting, it kind of just...
You're more aware.
Really,
It's kind of like morale hunting. If you
no,
find your first...
not really more aware. It was more of like, it didn't stop. Like, before I had seen it, I never saw it. Well, I don't know. There was one time I might have seen something, but it was like when I was like 12. And it like, I've never seen anything at all. Anything. Nothing. Nada. Zero. That's the only time I've ever seen something, and after that, it just kept showing up as different manifestations. Like one time it showed itself as a reverse meteor. Like it was a bright orange light in the sky, and it traveled opposite, like, you know how a meteor would travel down and then like kind of blip. Like it didn't even explode, it just blipped and then vanished.
It actually depends. The way the Earth moves, you could actually see it seem to pop from the horizon up and disappear about when it should be seen more, and that's because of the distance away. So that is a possibility.
I think the
It
second
depends on
time I
which
saw
direction it is going in comparison to your perspective and where you are on Earth.
it showed up as an orange, so it showed up as an orange, not, I guess you could call it a ball of light. Stayed there for 1 second, traveled up left or diagonal, and then not really exploded, but more of blipped and vanished.
Yep. The same thing happens if you're watching the ISS. Sometimes you get a minute view, sometimes you get like 7. Alright, so, but the thing is it seems to appear out of nowhere, and then it disappears.
It did appear out of nowhere. It kind of did, but it didn't travel across the sky either. It was just a small portion. It was fucking. It
Yep,
was
and
weird.
that's what the ISS does. Even though it's not gonna be as you described. But what I'm trying to explain to you is that it, even closer than a meteor would be, the same thing happens.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's all about, like, if you look up the schedule of when you might be able to see the ISS. Okay, when you do that, it's hilarious, like the limited amount of time that you might see it. Like, I got to see it for a minute and a half one time. I got to see it for a full 5 another. So it just depends. But it does seem to, you have to know where you're looking. You have to know the direction, or just get lucky, which I did the first time. I just got lucky. But once you know where in the sky it's going to be in respect to where it is and your Earth, you can figure out about how long you'll see it, where it'll go from and to, before it just seems to vanish mysteriously. It's funny. The sky is very mysterious.
Tell me about it.
And it's full of things that are wondrous without it being as magical as people would like them to be, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But there are some explanations. What you photographed, that's probably the oddest thing I've seen in a photograph as far as that goes from somebody around here. So I would be apt to look more closely into that if I had the chance. Or
Where
if
did you
I
put
had
the
the
picture?
equipment.
Sorry.
It's in media. I can link it in here in a minute. But it should be at the top of media. I got him to post it there because it's the easiest way. Since I've already seen it, now it's like gray and it's hard to see. There we go. Alright, so how do I do this? Oh, that's how I do it. So this isn't working. I can't just. There we go. Copy link. I'm gonna put it in the sidebar. The link to the media thing.
Thank you. I kept scrolling down and new shit would come. Scrolling down, new shit would come. I was like, oh my god.
Here you go.
I don't see it.
I put it there. Yeah, I just put the link.
No, not the UFO. I can't find anywhere else where somebody might have posted it online.
It's the mark of Zorro.
I'm trying to remember what month, because I know that we just had a Devil's Comet thing happening not too long ago, and I'm wondering what time last year it happened, because if it was just zero, right? That's what we're talking. Maybe that comet was actually slightly visible for a short time. Maybe not as visible as this year, but generally comets like that make even if they come every like several hundred years, you can see them for a couple of years on the same time frame before they just go back into their whatever.
That sucks, man.
It's pretty
The
cool.
sky is cool. I love it. It's too bad it's cloudy tonight, and I might see some clouds, stars, but nothing. Too many clouds.
Sometimes I want to be, or I feel like I'm tempted to go find an observatory. And aren't they usually like free to go to them kind of places, or maybe some kind of minimum donation?
There's one in Nashville that I wanted to go to, but it costs $25 for adults and $9 for kids. But that was 15 years ago, because now my kids, like one of them's graduated. Well, I guess it wasn't 15 years ago. It was like 10 years ago that I was looking. So it's probably more money now, is what I'm saying. Some of them you could probably get in for free with like a study.
I think there's this huge college around here. They own a couple mountains or some shit and got stuff up there.
Then they'll have free days. Sometimes they'll do community free days if you have a college nearby or like that does it. You just have to look up like what day of the week. Either there's a reduction or a free day, or sometimes they'll do it like 5 nights a year on some really like nights that are supposed to be some kind of celestial interest. And they'll just have the observatory or the telescope that's associated with it pointed in a certain direction. They'll have it where everybody can see it. Like you don't have to go up to it. It's on a monitor.
That's where it left. I can't see the path it took.
That would have been very interesting to get the video and then the direction you were going, I guess, and the knots that you were traveling at.
Cruise timetables.
You could probably figure it out by where you were headed that day. And
We were heading to the Grand Cayman.
okay. That takes a lot. Excuse me. Move. From where?
It might have been Tampa. It might have been Tampa.
Tampa, Florida. Okay.
Yeah.
Quit. It would have been that, or Miami's also a port that does that, and one of the keys, but I can't. Quit, dog. Quit. Lay down.
I'm pretty sure it was Tampa. I'm almost certain because we didn't
Yeah, that's a big
travel
port.
far.
All right, so let's see here. Maps. Let's just see what that looks like. No route found. Okay, well, where's the ocean? What the fudge? It's giving me my areas. I'm like, of course I can't get there from here, you dumb, stupid thing. Alright. We quit arguing with the cat.
My bad, my bad.
Merlin, it's your fault. You know what? I'll just do this. Grand Cayman. Grand Cayman. And then I'll do the map. And I'll reduce it to see all of. So that's difficult. You had to go around Cuba, so all I know is you could have been going almost in any direction. Oh man. So you had to go between Mexico and Cancun, or Cuba. Cancun and Cuba to get there. So if it was you said it was at night.
8 p.m.
I mean, you could have really been facing many directions. There's like, you do a horseshoe to get there.
I think that's what happened. We traveled around some kind of land. I remember seeing. I remember seeing us going across, not really actually the land, but on the map, where we were going around some kind of body of land.
You were going
Before when we. vehicle, it went to nighttime, and we left. We kind of just like went to open sea around nighttime.
Okay, so you're probably heading southeast. Was the land to your left or right? Do you remember?
Shit. It might have been to the ship's left.
Okay, so you were closer to Cuba. Okay, my food's ready. It looks like you were traveling southeast.
Enjoy your meal.
Thank you. I will be back.
Yeah. Yeah.
You talking to me, Driz?
I mean, I've just pulled up your message and you can see that.
Oh, no, I didn't. Now I can.
That's odd. It's not giving me the pass for the 22nd. Like, it's not showing up on Norwegian actual website. That's freaking odd. I'm telling you, that ship was freaking cursed.